The small spaceship landed on the bright, colorful planet. The explorers inside were excited but also nervous. They had traveled a long way from Earth to study a new world. As they stepped out, they were greeted by a landscape unlike anything they had seen before. The sky was a deep purple, and the ground sparkled like diamonds under the light of two suns. Strange plants grew all around, some with glowing flowers and others that moved gently as if they were alive. Alex, one of the explorers, looked around in wonder. "This place is amazing," he said to his teammates. They all agreed, their eyes wide with excitement. The team had heard stories about this planet, tales of its wild beauty and mysterious creatures. But they had also heard about the apex predator that ruled the land, a massive beast that was both feared and respected. As they moved further into the forest, the air became thick with the scent of flowers and strange fruits. The sounds of chirping and rustling surrounded them. Every now and then, they would catch glimpses of colorful creatures darting through the trees. It felt like stepping into a dream. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed through the air. The explorers froze. Alex's heart raced. He had heard about the apex predator, a creature known for its incredible strength and speed. The stories described it as a giant beast with sharp claws and fierce eyes, hunting anything that dared to enter its territory. The team had come to study the creature but had no idea how close they would get. "Do you think it's nearby?" whispered Sarah, another team member. She looked pale but also excited. The others nodded, their eyes scanning the trees for any sign of movement. They had all read the reports, but facing the beast in real life was something completely different. As they moved cautiously, they stumbled upon a clearing. In the center stood a massive creature, its powerful body covered in sleek fur that shimmered in the sunlight. It was larger than they had imagined, with piercing eyes that seemed to glow with intelligence. The predator was magnificent and terrifying at the same time. Alex felt a mix of fear and awe. He wanted to run, but also wanted to stay and learn more about this incredible animal. He had always been fascinated by wildlife and dreamed of experiencing something like this. Taking a deep breath, he took a step forward, hoping to see what the creature would do. To his surprise, the apex predator didn't charge at him. Instead, it tilted its head, curious about this strange new being in its territory. Alex felt a surge of hope. Maybe this creature was not just a mindless killer. Maybe it could be understood. "Stay back!" shouted Mark, another team member. He had his weapon ready, afraid that the predator might attack. "We don't know what it will do." But Alex felt a strange connection to the beast. He knew that violence would not help. Instead, he decided to try a different approach. He slowly crouched down and made himself smaller, showing he was not a threat. "I won't hurt you," he whispered, hoping the creature could somehow understand him. The predator stepped closer, its nose twitching as it sniffed the air. Alex's heart raced as the beast came within just a few feet of him. The creature's eyes were bright and full of curiosity. It did not seem angry or afraid. Instead, it looked like it was trying to figure out who Alex was and what he was doing there. In that moment, Alex felt a spark of determination. If he could connect with this creature, maybe he could learn from it. Maybe they could find a way to coexist without fear. The thought excited him, and he knew he had to try. With the team still watching in awe, Alex began to search his pockets for something to offer the creature. He found a piece of dried fruit from their supplies and held it out in front of him. "Here, try this," he said softly. The apex predator paused, its eyes focused on the food. Slowly, it leaned forward, sniffing the air. Alex's heart pounded as he waited. Would the creature take the fruit, or would it see him as a threat? As the predator cautiously reached out, Alex knew this was only the beginning of their incredible journey together. After the surprising encounter, Alex felt a mix of excitement and determination. He had not only seen the apex predator, but had also come close to it without fear. That moment sparked an idea in his mind. If he could earn the creature's trust, they could learn from each other. Alex was determined to try. The next day, he gathered some supplies and prepared for another trip into the forest. His teammates were skeptical. "Are you sure this is a good idea?" Sarah asked, worry in her voice. "That creature is dangerous!" "I know," Alex replied confidently, "but I think there's a way to connect with it. I want to show that I mean no harm." With a deep breath, he set off, feeling both excited and nervous. As Alex walked through the colorful forest, he thought about what he had learned so far. The predator was smart and curious, and he needed to approach it carefully. He decided to bring food again, hoping it would help build trust. He packed some dried fruits and a few pieces of meat from their supplies. Finding a good spot near the clearing where they had first met, Alex laid the food on a large rock and sat down a short distance away. He wanted the creature to feel safe, so he made sure not to make any sudden movements. Alex took a deep breath, watching and waiting. Hours passed, but Alex didn't mind. He felt calm and focused. Suddenly, he heard rustling in the bushes. His heart raced. Was it the predator? Slowly, the large creature emerged, its powerful body moving gracefully through the trees. It paused when it saw Alex, but did not run away. Instead, it sniffed the air, catching the scent of the food. Alex remained still, holding his breath as the predator stepped closer. The creature's eyes were bright and curious, showing no signs of aggression. Alex smiled softly, feeling a spark of hope. This was a good sign. As the predator approached the food, Alex spoke gently. "It's for you," he said softly. "You can trust me." The apex predator hesitated for a moment, then lowered its head and sniffed the food. After a few seconds, it decided to take a piece of meat. Alex felt a rush of excitement as he watched the predator eat. Day after day, Alex returned to the same spot with food. Each time, he would sit quietly and patiently. The predator began to come closer, gradually trusting Alex more. It became a regular visitor, and Alex found himself looking forward to their meetings. Each encounter deepened their bond, making Alex feel more connected to this magnificent creature. One day, Alex decided to try something new. He brought a shiny object, a small mirror he had found in their supplies. He hoped it would catch the predator's attention. As he laid it on the rock with the food, the creature sniffed the air curiously and approached. When it saw the mirror, the predator stopped. It tilted its head, its eyes wide with curiosity. Alex chuckled softly. "It's just a reflection," he explained, pointing to the mirror. The creature slowly moved closer, its eyes fixed on the shiny surface. It seemed puzzled but intrigued. After a moment, the predator reached out with a paw, tapping the mirror gently. Alex could hardly contain his excitement. This was a breakthrough! The creature was not only trusting him, but was also willing to explore new things. As the days turned into weeks, their bond grew stronger. Alex began to observe the predator's behavior more closely. He noticed how it communicated with subtle movements, like tilting its head or flicking its tail. He mimicked these gestures, hoping the predator would understand. One afternoon, Alex brought a long stick with him. He waved it around, pretending it was a game. The predator watched, its eyes shining with curiosity. Slowly, it approached and playfully swatted at the stick. Alex laughed in delight. They were beginning to play together. As their friendship deepened, Alex realized the predator was not just a fearsome beast, it was a creature with emotions and intelligence. The apex predator had a personality, and Alex was beginning to understand it. Each meeting filled Alex with hope and joy. He knew they were on the path to something incredible. Together, they could change the way humans viewed this creature. As Alex sat in the clearing watching his new friend, he felt a sense of purpose. They were building a bond that could prove that trust and friendship were more powerful than fear. As Alex and the apex predator continued to grow closer, their friendship became a source of excitement for the whole team. News of their bond spread quickly among the explorers, and many wanted to see this incredible connection for themselves. However, not everyone was supportive. Some team members worried that the predator was still dangerous, and they urged Alex to be more careful. One afternoon, as Alex prepared to meet his friend in the clearing, Mark approached him. "Are you really sure this is safe?" he asked, concern etched on his face. "That creature is a wild animal. What if it attacks you one day?" "I understand your worry, Mark," Alex replied, his voice calm. "But I believe in what we're doing. This creature is different. It's not just a beast, it's becoming a friend. We can learn so much from each other." Mark nodded but remained unconvinced, still seeing the predator as a threat. Later that day, Alex entered the forest with a bag full of treats. He hoped to continue building their bond. The sun shone brightly through the trees, creating a warm and inviting atmosphere. He couldn't wait to see his friend. When Alex reached the clearing, he laid out the food as usual and waited. A sense of anticipation filled the air. After a few moments, the apex predator emerged from the bushes. It looked strong and majestic, its muscles rippling under its sleek fur. Alex's heart raced with joy. They had established a connection that felt special. As the predator approached, something suddenly changed. Alex sensed danger in the air. The creature stopped. Its ears perked up, and it looked around, alert. Alex felt a chill run down his spine. "What's wrong?" he whispered, but the predator remained tense. Without warning, loud sounds echoed through the forest. Alex recognized the noise immediately. It was the sound of engines. He turned to see a group of alien hunters entering the clearing, their vehicles rumbling toward them. Panic surged through him. The hunters had come to capture the apex predator, and they were not here for a friendly visit. "Run!" Alex shouted, his heart pounding. He grabbed the food and turned to flee, but the predator stayed where it was, staring at the approaching vehicles. "We have to go!" Alex urged, waving his arms. But the creature seemed frozen in place, its instincts battling with the bond they had formed. Just then, one of the hunters spotted them. "There it is!" he shouted, pointing at the apex predator. "Get it!" The other hunters jumped into action, their weapons ready. Alex felt fear grip his heart. He couldn't let anything happen to his friend. "Come on! Follow me!" he yelled again, hoping the predator would listen. But instead of fleeing, the apex predator stood its ground. It roared loudly, its deep voice echoing through the trees. Alex realized that it was trying to protect him, ready to face the danger head-on. "Stop! You don't understand!" Alex shouted at the hunters, but they didn't listen. They advanced, shouting and waving their weapons. The situation was escalating quickly. In a split second, Alex knew he had to act. He remembered the tricks they had practiced together. "Distract them!" he yelled to the predator, hoping it would understand. The apex predator quickly turned and ran, leading the hunters away from Alex. As the hunters chased after the beast, Alex took a deep breath. He realized that this was a test of their bond. He needed to find a way to protect his friend and help it escape. "Think, Alex, think," he muttered to himself. Alex spotted a nearby hill and quickly ran towards it, hoping to create a distraction of his own. He picked up a few stones and began throwing them in the opposite direction, hoping the noise would draw the hunters away. "Over here!" he shouted, trying to get their attention. His plan worked momentarily. Some of the hunters turned, confused by the sounds. They shouted to each other, trying to locate the source of the noise. But it wasn't enough. Alex could see that the apex predator was still in danger. Feeling desperate, Alex remembered the food he had brought. He grabbed the remaining treats and waved them in the air. "Come on! This way!" he called out, hoping the predator would follow the smell. He needed to lure it back to safety. To his relief, the apex predator caught a whiff of the food and started to turn back toward him. It was fast, dodging the hunters as it raced toward Alex. Together, they had a chance. With the hunters distracted, they could escape. "Come on! We can do this!" Alex shouted, his heart filled with hope. The predator sprinted toward him, and just as the hunters began to realize what was happening, Alex and the creature dashed away into the dense forest, their bond stronger than ever. After the harrowing escape from the hunters, Alex and the apex predator found themselves deeper in the forest than ever before. They had narrowly avoided danger, and the bond between them had grown even stronger. Alex felt a mix of relief and gratitude. The predator had not only listened to him, but had also put its trust in him during a critical moment. As they settled in a small clearing surrounded by tall trees, Alex sat down on a large rock. He took a moment to catch his breath, still processing everything that had happened. The predator, panting slightly, lowered its head and nudged him gently. It seemed to be checking on Alex, sensing his emotions. "Thank you," Alex whispered, reaching out to stroke the creature's fur. It felt warm and soft beneath his fingers. "I couldn't have done it without you." The apex predator looked up at him, its bright eyes shining with understanding. In that moment, they shared an unspoken connection that went beyond words. Determined to strengthen their bond further, Alex decided to introduce some fun activities into their meetings. He remembered how the predator had reacted to the shiny mirror and the stick during their play sessions. This time, he thought of something more interactive. The next day, Alex returned to the clearing with a few items he had crafted from fallen branches and vines. He made a simple set of barriers using the materials, creating a small obstacle course. He wanted to encourage the predator to play and explore, deepening their friendship through shared experiences. When he arrived, the apex predator was already waiting for him. Its presence filled the clearing with a sense of energy. "I have something fun for us today," Alex said excitedly, showing the predator the makeshift course. The creature tilted its head, curious about what Alex had created. Alex began to demonstrate. "Watch me!" he exclaimed, running through the course, jumping over the small barriers and crawling under the vines. The predator watched intently, its ears perked up and its eyes wide. "Come on! It's your turn," he encouraged, clapping his hands. Slowly, the apex predator approached the course. At first, it hesitated, sniffing the ground and examining the obstacles. Then, with a burst of energy, it leaped over the first barrier, surprising Alex with its agility. "Yes, just like that!" he cheered, clapping his hands in delight. Encouraged by Alex's excitement, the predator began to navigate the course. It dashed around, jumping, crawling, and even rolling in the grass. Alex couldn't help but laugh, feeling the joy of their shared playtime. They were no longer just human and beast. They were friends enjoying an adventure together. As the day went on, their bond deepened through laughter and play. They took breaks to rest under the shade of the trees, where Alex shared stories about his life back on Earth. He told the predator about his family, his friends, and the adventures he had experienced. In return, the creature seemed to communicate its own stories through its movements and sounds. One afternoon, as they rested, Alex felt a sense of peace wash over him. The predator lay beside him, its breathing steady and calm. "I wish everyone could see how amazing you are," Alex said softly, stroking its fur. "Maybe we can show them one day." Inspired by the idea, Alex planned to create a demonstration for the team. He wanted to show them that the apex predator was not a monster, but a majestic creature capable of friendship and cooperation. He envisioned a day where everyone could witness the bond they had formed. As weeks passed, they practiced together. Alex taught the predator simple commands, using the treats to reward it for following his directions. Sit, stay, and come became part of their routine. The creature learned quickly, showing intelligence and a willingness to cooperate. With each command it followed, their connection deepened. One day, while practicing in the clearing, Alex decided it was time to test their skills in front of the team. He was nervous but excited. He wanted everyone to see how the predator could respond to him. "Let's show them what we can do," he said, his heart racing. As the team gathered, Alex felt a mix of anticipation and fear. He introduced the apex predator, describing their journey together. He explained how they had built trust through play and training. The team watched in awe as Alex called the predator to him. It obeyed without hesitation, showing off its newfound skills. With each command, the apex predator followed Alex's instructions flawlessly. The team cheered and Alex's heart swelled with pride. They were no longer just a human and an apex predator. They were a team, ready to change perceptions and build a future together. Alex felt hopeful, knowing that their bond was stronger than ever, and they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The bond between Alex and the apex predator had grown incredibly strong over the weeks. They had faced challenges, played together, and learned to trust one another. Alex felt a sense of pride every time he looked at his friend. He knew that together they could achieve great things. However, danger was never far away in this strange world. One evening, as the sun set and painted the sky in hues of orange and purple, Alex and the predator rested in their favorite clearing. They shared a peaceful moment, with Alex recounting tales from Earth, while the creature listened attentively, its eyes gleaming in the fading light. But that peace was shattered when a low rumble echoed through the forest. "What was that?" Alex asked, sitting up quickly. The predator's ears perked, and it stood alert, its body tense. Alex could feel a sense of unease creeping into the air. Something was coming. Suddenly, a group of alien hunters burst into the clearing, their shouts piercing the tranquility. "There it is!" one of them yelled, pointing directly at Alex and the apex predator. Fear washed over Alex as he realized they had returned, determined to capture the creature. They were not just hunters. They were a well-organized group with advanced technology. "Run!" Alex shouted, his heart racing. He grabbed the predator's fur and pulled it close. "We have to get out of here!" But the creature stood firm, its eyes locked on the hunters, ready to defend its friend. As the hunters advanced, Alex knew they needed a plan. "We can't fight them head-on," he said urgently, scanning the area for a way to escape. "We have to use our skills together." The apex predator let out a deep growl, as if it understood. Alex could see the determination in its eyes. "Okay, let's do this," he said, feeling a surge of adrenaline. "We'll outsmart them!" Alex sprinted to the side, leading the hunters away from the clearing. "Over here!" he shouted, waving his arms to get their attention. The apex predator followed closely, its powerful legs allowing it to keep pace with Alex. They moved quickly, dodging trees and weaving through the dense underbrush. The hunters shouted and chased after them, their voices echoing through the forest. Alex could hear the sounds of their footsteps growing louder behind them. "Keep going! We can't let them catch us!" he urged, pushing himself to run faster. As they ran, Alex had an idea. He remembered a narrow cave he had discovered during one of his earlier explorations. "This way!" he called to the predator, leading it toward the cave. "We can hide there!" The apex predator seemed to understand the plan and picked up speed. They reached the cave just in time, slipping inside as the hunters closed in. It was dark and cool inside, but Alex felt safe. The predator moved in beside him, its presence reassuring. They listened as the hunters searched outside. "Where did they go?" one of them yelled in frustration. "They can't have vanished!" Alex felt a mixture of fear and excitement. They had a chance to turn the tables. "We can outsmart them," he whispered to the predator. "We just need to wait for the right moment." After a few minutes of searching, the hunters began to lose interest. They moved further away from the cave, their voices fading. Alex turned to the apex predator. "Now's our chance," he said softly. "Let's sneak out and find a way to stop them." Cautiously, they exited the cave, moving silently through the trees. Alex spotted the hunters gathering in a clearing, discussing their next move. He had a plan. "We can create a distraction," he whispered. "You can draw their attention while I sneak around to get behind them." The apex predator nodded, its eyes bright with understanding. They positioned themselves strategically, Alex crouching behind a large rock while the predator moved into the open. "Hey! Over here!" Alex shouted, his voice carrying through the forest. The hunters turned, their eyes wide with surprise. "Come and get me!" he taunted, waving his arms. The apex predator roared loudly, charging towards the hunters. Alex watched as they panicked, unsure of whether to chase him or deal with the predator. This was their moment. Alex darted behind the hunters, moving quickly and quietly. With swift determination, he grabbed a branch and swung it to knock a device from one of the hunters' hands. The device clattered to the ground, causing confusion. The hunters began to shout, trying to regroup and understand what was happening. "Now! Let's go!" Alex yelled, signaling to the apex predator. They moved together, a perfect team. The predator leaped at the nearest hunter, catching him off guard and forcing him to stumble back. The other hunters quickly realized they were in trouble. With Alex and the predator working in tandem, they began to drive the hunters away. The apex predator used its strength and speed to outmaneuver them, while Alex provided distractions, drawing their attention away from his friend. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the hunters decided they had underestimated their opponents. They turned and fled, retreating deeper into the forest. Alex and the apex predator stood victorious, breathing heavily but exhilarated. "We did it!" Alex shouted, grinning widely at the creature beside him. The apex predator let out a triumphant roar, echoing through the trees. Their bond had been tested, and they had emerged stronger than ever. As they stood in the clearing, Alex knew they could face any danger together. The apex predator was not just a friend, it was a partner. Together, they were unstoppable, ready to take on whatever adventures awaited them in this strange, wonderful world.